Their story reflects the complexities of relationships and the reality that love can take different forms over time. Amy and Matt's ability to maintain a respectful partnership after divorce is a powerful message about compassion and maturity. As Amy and Matt move forward separately, they continue to be connected by their children and the family farm. Their ongoing cooperation benefits not only themselves, but also their extended family and fans of the show. The Little People, Big World series will likely continue to follow the family's journey, documenting how Amy and Matt adjust to their new roles in lives. Fans appreciate the show's honest portrayal of life's challenges and triumphs. In summary, Amy Roloff and Matt Roloff's divorce has been finalized after a marriage that lasted over 30 years. Both remain committed to co-parenting and managing the family farm together. They have approached their separation with respect and kindness, setting an example for healthy divorce and family cooperation. Their story continues to inspire viewers and reminds us that change, while difficult, can lead to growth and new opportunities. We come to you today with news that is both shocking and profoundly heartbreaking. Earlier today, on what should have been a peaceful Sunday afternoon in Hillsboro, Oregon, a devastating fire erupted at the home of Amy Roloff, the beloved matriarch of the Little People, Big World family. We can confirm that Amy was inside the home at the time of the blaze. She was rescued by emergency crews and has been transported to a Portland area hospital where sources excruciatingly close to the family are telling us she is currently in very critical condition. Is Amy Roloff. Death. This is a tragedy that strikes at the heart of a family that has shared its life, its triumphs, and its struggles with the world. Let's begin with the timeline of today's events. This is what we have been able to piece together from official sources and eyewitness reports. The day began like any other Sunday in the quiet suburban neighborhood where Amy and her husband, Chris Merrick, settled after she sold her portion of Roloff Farms, a place she had lovingly turned into her own home, a hub for her family and her passion for cooking. At approximately 9:47 a.m. Pacific Time, the Washington County Consolidated Communications Agency received the first 911 call. The call, according to a source within the agency, came from a frantic neighbor who reported seeing thick black smoke billowing from the windows of the Roloff Merrick residence. I was in my garden just watering my hydrangeas, and I smelled at first that awful acrid smell of plastic and wood burning. I looked up and saw this huge plume of black smoke coming from Amy's house, from the back of the house. It looked like near the kitchen. My heart just dropped into my stomach. I screamed for my husband to call 911, and I just ran out onto the street. You could see the orange glow inside the windows. It was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. Within 4 minutes, the first units from the Hillsboro Fire and Rescue Department arrived on the scene. They were met with what fire officials would later describe as a heavily involved structure fire. The situation was immediately escalated. It was a race against time. Neighbors on the street reported seeing Chris Merrick, Amy's husband, outside the home in a state of absolute distress, being held back by another neighbor. As he tried to run back towards the burning house, he was covered in soot, and it was clear he had tried to combat the fire or reach Amy himself before being forced out by the heat and smoke. Firefighters initiated an aggressive interior attack, battling intense heat and near zero visibility. It was during this primary search of the residence that they located Amy Roloff. She was found unconscious in a hallway adjacent to the main living area, having apparently been overcome by smoke while trying to escape. Paramedics on the scene immediately began advanced life support. They worked on her for several minutes on the lawn before she was stabilized enough for transport. An ambulance rushed her with lights and sirens blaring to the Oregon Health and Science University Hospital in Portland, known for its level 1 trauma center. Chief Miller says, "Our crews made a courageous and rapid entry into the structure. They located one adult female victim and were able to extricate her. She has been transported to OSU with what I would classify as life-threatening injuries, primarily related to smoke inhalation and thermal burns. Our hearts go out to the family. The fire is now under control, but the investigation into the cause and origin is just beginning. We will provide more information as it becomes available. Life-threatening injuries. Those are the words no family ever wants to hear. A source very close to the Roloffs confirmed to our network just a short while ago that Amy's condition remains very critical. She is in the fight of her life, surrounded by her family, who are now rushing to her side from across the country to understand the magnitude of this loss, the depth of this tragedy. We must understand the woman at its center. Amy Roloff is more than a television personality. She is a symbol of resilience, a woman who has faced down adversity her entire life with grace, grit, and an infectious smile. Amy Jo Knight was born on September 17, 1962. From the moment she entered the world, she was destined to live a life that was different. Born with aeroplasia, the most common form of dwarfism, she grew up in a world not built for her. In interviews, she spoke of the challenges, the stares, the whispers, the physical obstacles, but she also spoke of parents who instilled in her an iron will. They taught her that her height did not define. Amy Roloff says, "My dad always told me, Amy, you can do anything an average height person can do. You just might have to do it a little differently." And that stuck with me. I had to have a stool to reach the counter. I had to work harder to keep up physically, but I was never going to let my size be an excuse. She graduated from Central Michigan University and took a job in Silicon Valley, a young woman making her way in the world. But a fateful trip in 1986 would change the course of her life forever. At a Little People of America National Conference, she met a charismatic, ambitious young man with a different form of dwarfism, dystrophic dysplasia. His name was Matt Roloff. Their connection was immediate and powerful. They were a dynamic pair. Matt, the big dreaming visionary, and Amy, the pragmatic steady force that turned those dreams into reality. They married in 1987 and soon moved to Oregon, where they purchased a 34-acre fixer-upper property in Helvetia. It was a pumpkin patch, a run-down farmhouse, and a field of dreams. This would become the iconic Roloff Farms. Their family grew quickly. First, the twins Jeremy and Zach, one average height, one with Aya like his mother. Then came their daughter Molly of average height, and finally their youngest son Jacob, also of average height. Amy was now the matriarch of a bustling, unique family. She was the chief cook, the homework supervisor, the emotional anchor, and the logistical genius that made the chaotic, ambitious world of Roloff Farms run. In 2006, the world was introduced to this extraordinary family when Little People Big World premiered on TLC. The show was a cultural phenomenon. For the first time, a mainstream audience was given an intimate look into the lives of a family with dwarfism. The show shattered stereotypes and built bridges of understanding, and at its heart was Amy. Viewers saw her quiet strength. They saw her navigate the immense challenges of raising 4 children while managing a complex marriage and a demanding business. They saw her advocating for her son Zach as he underwent painful leg surgeries. They saw her vulnerability and her fierce protective love for her family. But the show also documented the very house that now stands charred and silent. She poured her heart into making it her own, and she found love again. Chris Merrick, a successful real estate agent, came into real life and showed her a new kind of partnership, one built on mutual respect, shared adventures, and quiet companionship. Their wedding, held back at the farm, was a beautiful testament to new beginnings and the enduring bonds of family. Professionally, she flourished. She authored books, became a sought-after motivational speaker, and launched her own successful online business, Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen, sharing her lifelong passion for cooking with the world. She was a grandmother, Mimi, to a growing brood of grandchildren who adored her. Life was good, life was full. After so many years of living for others, Amy Roloff was finally living for herself on her own terms in a home she loved with a man who cherished her. And that is what makes today's news so utterly cruelly tragic, an incredible journey of a truly remarkable woman. That strength is being tested like never before tonight as Amy fights for her life at OSU. Her family is grappling with an unfolding nightmare. Let's talk about the people who are at her bedside, the people whose world has been shattered today. First, her husband, Chris Merrick. Eyewitnesses describe him as being in a state of shock and utter devastation at the scene. He was the one there, he was the one who lived through those first terrifying moments. We can only imagine the horror of seeing the home you share with the love of your life go up in flames, and the powerlessness of being unable to reach her. Our sources say he accompanied Amy in the ambulance and has not left the hospital waiting room. He is, by all accounts, inconsolable. Next, Matt Roloff. His relationship with Amy is one of the most complex and documented in reality television history. 30 years of marriage, a business partnership, 4 children, and a contentious divorce, yet through it all there has remained a deep, undeniable connection. They are grandparents. Together, they share a legacy. Just over an hour ago, Matt Roloff posted this on his official Instagram account. He writes, "There are no words today. Our family has been struck by an unthinkable tragedy. We are all in a state of shock and disbelief. What matters right now is Amy. She is a fighter. She has been a fighter her entire life. I am at the hospital with our children, and we are praying with all our might for her recovery. I am asking for anyone who has ever been touched by Amy's spirit, to please send your prayers, your light, your strength to her right now. We need it. She needs it. Please also respect our family's privacy as we navigate this crisis." Matt, a powerful and heartbreaking message from the family's patriarch. Now let's consider the children. Zach Roloff, Amy's son, who shares her diagnosis of achondroplasia. Their bond has always been unique. Zach and his wife Tori live just a short drive from Amy's home. They and their 3 children, Jackson, Layla, and Joe, are incredibly close with their Mimi. Amy is a constant presence in their lives. For Zach, seeing his mother, his fiercest advocate in this condition, is unimaginable. For Tori, who has developed a deep daughter-like friendship with Amy, this is a profound personal blow. Their children are too young to understand, but their lives will be irrevocably impacted by the fate of their beloved grandmother. Jeremy and Audrey Roloff, while no longer part of the show, remain integral to the family. They are known for their strong Christian faith, and we can be certain they are leaning heavily on that faith right now. Leaving the family in prayer, they live further away and are likely making the frantic journey to Portland as we speak. Jeremy, as Zach's twin, shared that unique experience of growing up in the Roloff household, the loss of his mother's new home, a place of peace for her after the farm, will be deeply painful. And then there are the more private children. Molly, who lives in Washington with her husband, has always shied away from the spotlight, but her love for her mother is fierce. She will be there, a quiet, steady presence for her family. And Jacob, the youngest, who has had a complicated relationship with the fame that came from the show. He has often been a critic of the production, but never of his family's love. In recent years, he, his wife Isabel, and their son Matteo have grown closer to Amy. Jacob, in particular, has always shared his mother's compassionate and thoughtful nature. Seeing her so vulnerable will be a devastating blow. This is a family united in crisis, their past differences melting away in the face of a terrifying present. They are all gathered, a fractured but fiercely loyal clan, keeping vigil and praying for a miracle to help us understand what very critical condition means in a situation like this. We are joined by Dr. Sarah Jenkins. Dr. Jenkins is not involved in Amy's treatment, but can speak to the general nature of these injuries. Doctor, thank you for joining us. When you hear about a patient rescued from a house fire, what are the immediate medical concerns? Dr. Jenkins says, "Thank you for having me, Alex. It's a multifaceted and extremely serious situation. The term critical means there are immediate threats to life and the patient's vital signs are unstable in a house fire. We have two primary areas of catastrophic injury. First, there are the thermal burns to the skin. The severity depends on the duration and intensity of the exposure. These are not only incredibly painful, but also open the body up to massive fluid loss and a high risk of infection. Second, and often more deadly, is inhalation injury. Superheated gases and smoke contain toxic chemicals like carbon monoxide and cyanide. These do immense damage to the delicate tissues of the airway and lungs. It can cause swelling that shuts off the airway, and it prevents the body's red blood cells from carrying oxygen. A patient can essentially suffocate even after they've been rescued from the fire. This is likely the most significant battle her doctors are fighting right now. Chief Miller's statement specifically mentioned both burns and smoke inhalation. Given Amy's age 62 and her achondroplasia, does that present additional complications? Jenkins, absolutely. Any pre-existing medical condition complicates trauma care with achondroplasia. There can sometimes be differences in the structure of the spine and the airway, which can make things like intubation, placing, and breathing tube more challenging. The chest cavity may be smaller, which can affect respiratory mechanics. Her age is also a factor, as the body's ability to heal and withstand the immense stress of a critical injury diminishes over time. She is in for an incredibly tough fight. The next 24 to 48 hours are absolutely crucial. Sarah Jenkins, thank you for your invaluable insight during this difficult time while the medical team at OSU fights to save Amy's life. Investigators are beginning the painstaking work of sifting through the ashes of her home to find out what happened. Fire Chief David Miller stated that the investigation is in its earliest stages. They will meticulously map the burn patterns, analyze debris, and examine the home's electrical systems and appliances to pinpoint the fire's origin and cause. At this time, there is absolutely no indication of foul play. Investigators often find that tragic accidents like this stem from the most common of sources: a faulty wire and appliance malfunction, or in a home so centered around the kitchen, a cooking accident. Given Amy's passion for cooking and her Amy Roloff's little kitchen business, the focus will almost certainly begin there. The irony is almost too cruel to contemplate that the place that brought her so much joy could become the source of such profound tragedy. In the hours since the news broke, the digital world has lit up with an overwhelming wave of support, love, and prayer for Amy Roloff. The hashtag Pray for Amy is trending #1 worldwide. Fan 1. I've been watching LPB Doggy since day one. Amy Roloff taught me so much about motherhood and resilience. My heart is have absolutely broken. Praying for a miracle. Fan 2. The Roloffs feel like a part of my own family, sending every bit of strength and love to Amy, Chris, and the entire family. Please pull through. It's not just fans, fellow reality stars from across the TLC network and beyond have been posting their own messages of support, speaking to the impact Amy has had not just on viewers, but on the television community as a whole. This outpouring of love is a testament to the woman we have been talking about, a woman who, despite living a life of extraordinary circumstances, has a spirit that is universally relatable. She is the mother, the grandmother, the friend, the survivor. She has a quiet dignity and a warmth that transcends the television screen today. That warmth, the tidal wave of hope from millions of people who have never met her but who feel as if they know her. We end our special report where we begin with a family in crisis and a beloved woman fighting for her life in a hospital in Portland, Oregon. The story of Amy Roloff has always been one of overcoming obstacles, from the physical challenges of her dwarfism to the emotional hurdles of a public divorce, she has always met adversity with a resilience that is nothing short of inspiring. Tonight, she faces the greatest battle of her life. The future is uncertain. The questions are many. What caused the fire? What will become of the home she so lovingly built? And the most important, most terrifying question of all, will she survive? We do not have those answers tonight. All we have is the story of her life, a legacy of strength. Leave the farm with his wife Tori and their children. According to an interview Zach gave to ET, it's just unfortunate. The way things went down, but I think a lot of the siblings have kind of had enough of it and separated, which is wonderfully sad, and it's unfortunate. According to him, I think we should be spending this time together as a family with lots of cousins enjoying the grandchildren, but instead we're all kind of apart. However, it is what it is. More update in a confessional style. The scene transitions to Amy remarking, when a family goes through a major event like Matt and I getting divorced and then working out, yeah, you do feel like something has broken. A choice is presented to you. She continues, is there a method to help it recover if you leave it damaged for how long? Quite a while. Amy and Chris Merrick have remarried and are now in the process of finding a new house after Matt failed to sell the property he and his fiancée built their dream house and turned it into a short-term holiday rental. He later stoked a family conflict by admitting that upon his death he would prefer to leave the land to his ex-wife than any of his children. Matt acknowledged in the season 25 teaser that he and his wife Tori don't spend much time together, and Zach flat out refused to discuss his dad's engagement to Chandler in front of the camera. We Zach and Tori that often, Matt added, referring to his son and his wife, to whom they share 3 children. I think they must have made some sort of pact that they don't want to come to the farm. Zach announced his official departure from Little People Big World and the end of his tenure in season 25. An episode of his podcast, Raising Heights, which he co-hosts with his wife. Tori in February petrified Matt Roloff after they tie the knot his relationship with fiancée Karen Chandler may undergo some changes. Actor Matt Roloff is looking forward to spending the rest of his life with his fiancée Karen Chandler, even though the couple is rethinking actually getting married on the latest episode of the hit TLC show 62-year-old. Matt revealed to his friends, including Chris Merrick, who is married to his ex-wife Amy, that he is petrified to get married again. When asked about his concerns about their relationship changing on their wedding day, he said he imagined himself with anybody other than Karen. His friend he saw that he appeared scared about getting married. He confessed that he is feeling petrified while relaxing in his log cabin. According to the reality star, he and his friends have discussed how they are afraid that their relationship could end, particularly since it's working so well. At the moment he proposed to her in April of last year, we have the whole don't fix what's not broke. Matt added, we have that entire thing under control. Not we're against the institution of marriage. We both enjoy it and have been married, but do we really need to do that? As he spoke, the 56-year-old farmer from Roloff Farms made it clear that he and K Karen are savoring each day of their engagement. We're not taking any risks. The TV celebrity reassured his friends, "We always say we'll talk about it again. In a couple weeks or months or whatever when we talk about it." Chris, 61, revealed that he had something similar prior to his marriage to Amy in 2021 in an effort to comfort his friend with whom he had grown closer in recent months. That was didn't feel obligated to tie the knot. However, I've heard countless anecdotes about long-term couples whose relationships took a dramatic turn at the altar, testing the waters for the next chapter of their relationship was the view of the LPBW star and Karen when they secured their Arizona property, as they disclosed in a confessional. Hey, does that change anything is a question that we're starting to ask once the house is genuine. We did discuss revisiting our wedding plans, he said, not necessarily other than you might sell your house and move in, both of us. Respond, he continued, we're considering all of our options and we really respect and appreciate the concept of marriage and the principles behind it. After 6 years of dating, Matt and Karen became engaged in April of last year in an official statement. The reality TV personality announced, "After 6 wonderful years together, I asked Karen to marry me, and she said yes. Our plan is to enjoy our engagement, and we are looking forward to a simple but elegant wedding in 2024. The fact that Karen had worked at Roloff Farms brought the two of them together in the first place in the time after Matt expressed his joy at being engaged. Posting a May Instagram snapshot with the message, "Making TV shows and mostly just enjoying my engagement and time with Karen." He revealed their relationship status. The businessman assured his followers in a separate remark, "You all kept telling me to put a ring on her," he continued, "so I did." They starred with Matt on LPB. Dolly and Matt were married for 28 years. Until their 2015 divorce. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip? Today, let us know in the comments and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.